I know I'm not a young man. State the obvious. Folks, I don't walk as easy as I used to. I don't speak as smoothly as I used to. I don't debate as well as I used to. But I know what I do know. I know how to tell the truth.
Joining me now in this Sunday Morning Futures exclusive is the co-chair of the Republican National Committee, Lara Trump. Lara, thanks very much for joining me. Welcome back.
Thank you, Maria. Always great to be with you.
How is President Trump, your father-in-law, doing after that debate? What is the latest that you can share with us?
He's doing great. Obviously, I think it was a unanimous win for him. And I actually, it's kind of a shame, Maria, because you don't hear as much about what a great performance he himself actually had in that debate. Look, I think it was probably the best debate of his political career. And for anybody who wondered, how would Donald Trump be? How would he do? How is he preparing? He obviously won that hands down, and not just because Joe Biden was so far gone and so embarrassing really to watch on the stage. He really knew and understood what has to happen to bring this country back and to give it back to we the people. So he's feeling great after that debate, but I think he is a little bit nervous about the country. You also heard whenever he was in Virginia at that campaign rally, him say to anyone out there who's considering doing anything, before I become president again, don't even try it. The fact that you have Donald Trump leading the country right now when he is not officially yet back in the White House speaks volumes to the American people and I think to the rest of the world. He is the leader we need right now, and he is leading despite the fact that Joe Biden is technically the president. I think everybody can see what's going on here, and I think you're going to see a huge, huge win for Donald Trump come November 5th.
What are the odds that President Trump is competing against Kamala Harris in November? There is obviously a conversation underway right now about whether or not the cabinet will, in fact, push forward the 25th Amendment to remove Joe Biden. But even if that's not the case, most people would say if you vote for Joe Biden, you're actually voting for Kamala Harris because there's a low likelihood that Joe Biden gets through all 4 years.
Yeah, it's a bad situation all around for the Democrats because, look, in order for them to put someone else in to run, they have to get Joe Biden either to quit or they have to remove him, as you noted, via the 25th Amendment. Joe Biden has said he's not going anywhere. His campaign came out right after that debate and said not only is he not quitting, they've committed to do the debate in September as well, which is shocking to hear. But Kamala Harris polls just about as bad, if not worse in a lot of cases, than Joe Biden. And so they have a huge problem on their hands. If they remove Joe Biden from the ticket somehow, and they do not have Kamala Harris as their nominee, and they try to plug someone else in, Maria, it is literally going against our democratic process here in this country. Millions of Americans came out in those primaries and voted for Joe Biden to be their nominee on the Democrat side. If they decide right here in the 11th hour to plug somebody else in, and it's not Kamala Harris, I can't think of a bigger assault to our democratic process than doing just that. But let's see what they do. Regardless if it's Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, Donald Trump's polls show us right now that the American people are behind him. Our fundraising shows us that the American people are behind him. Post-debate, we've been raising in small dollars over $1 million a day. These are donations under $40, Maria, in online donations. It shows you that that debate solidified for anyone, for any independent out there that was wondering, well, how should I vote this November? They understand now that Donald Trump is the only leader who was on that stage. Donald Trump is the only way we get this country back. And I believe it doesn't matter if it's Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, or quite frankly, anyone else they put in there. We had 4 years of Donald Trump. We know how secure our borders were. We know how much more money people had in their pockets, how much cheaper it was to go buy gas, how much safer we felt on the world stage when Donald Trump was there and people want him back in office.
Well, I mean, what about the super delegates, right? And all the delegates that have been secured. Does President Obama run that? I mean, how do you get the super delegates to agree to make a change?
Yeah, it's a huge question. I mean, we've never seen ourselves in a place like this in America. These really are uncharted waters, and I'm sure they're scrambling on the Democrat side right now. You know, we're about 2 weeks away from our convention on the Republican side, and I hope everybody is ready for an exciting convention where you hear about how you're going to get your life back out there from Donald Trump, where you compare these two men and their policies. Forget the fact that Joe Biden clearly doesn't have the cognition and the ability to run the country. I mean, his policies have driven this country into the ground and been very detrimental. So I don't know what they're doing over there. I'm sure they're scrambling. I'm sure they're having late night sessions trying to figure out how to salvage this. They are in very, very deep. And no matter how they try and spin it, no matter what they try and do, I think that it's going to be a resounding win again for Donald Trump on November 5th.
Yeah, but a lot of people now are worried that illegals will actually vote. You've got 10 million illegals in the country. The last time we spoke, you said that a fair election was your top priority. So where are you on that? Give us an update there.
Yeah, we've started our election integrity trainings, Maria, all across the country. The chairman, Michael Whatley, and I, we started in Michigan. We've been in Pennsylvania, Georgia, Arizona, Nevada this coming week. And I think it's imperative that every single American, when you go cast a ballot, no matter if you're voting for a Republican, a Democrat, or a third party candidate, which, by the way, the Democrats are trying to keep those candidates off the ballot this November. Wonder why, Maria. You should feel confident in your vote. You should feel confident that your vote counts, your vote matters, and that's what we're doing. We're training people all across this country to work in polling locations. We're going to have legal experts on the ground, and we want to send a message loud and clear to anyone who is going to cheat in an election. And if you are a non-citizen who illegally votes in our elections, we will come after you. We'll prosecute you to the full extent of the law. And if you are a non-citizen, that means you're leaving this country, Maria. I think we need to continue to echo that sentiment.
Lara, we'll be watching all of your work. We so appreciate you joining me this morning. Thank you.